Welcome to What's Happening. I'm your host, Paula Hersey, and today we're talking to Chris Stroh about the Cape Cod Mini Maker Faire being held April 26th at the Cape Cod Community College, Four Seas campus in their gymnasium. It's a free event for everyone. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
So, what is a maker?
A maker can be many, many things. Makers involve robot nerds. Could be 3D printer people, could be car people, engine people, textile people, just people that have a passion for building, making, constructing, improving. If you're old enough and you remember the do-it-yourself movement of the 1970s, people had community garages where you could change your own oil, and there's one guy that knew what he was doing, and we all shared tools. Yeah. Very similar to that, but nowadays we have access to a lot cooler toys.
Excellent. So the Mini Maker Faire being held at the Community College in the next 2 weeks on April 26th. How did you get involved with the makers here on Cape Cod?
Well, it started when I was 12, working on an old Commodore 64, writing programs in BASIC. Here it is 20 years later, and I discover these little robot brains use a very similar code to what I was doing when I was 12. And so all of a sudden I was a 12-year-old kid with resources. So I got back into this this whole maker movement, robots, etc., and slowly but surely started finding people of like minds. The famous story was I was at a local coffee shop and I overheard a story, a woman telling the cashier that the Truro Library is going to get a making machine. And I nudged her and said, "Pardon me, are you talking about a 3D printer?" She said, "Well, yes. I happen to speak 3D printer fluently."
Excellent.
So I shot off an email to Truro, and the next thing I know, I'm up there for a small meet and greet of, again, like-minded individuals, including the Cape Cod Maker Group, and I guess the rest is history.
Excellent. So have you been to any other Maker Fairs? Can you tell us a little about what a Maker Faire is?
Maker Fairs are incredible. I attend the New York Maker Faire each year, which is one of the bigger events. 2,000 people showing, 60,000 people going, wow. And 3D printers as far as you can, as the eye can see. People riding around on motorized hammocks, being driven by video game controllers. There are people who are knitters and doing electronics projects with textiles. There was a guy there that had a machine that could, but it squirted out pancake batter, and he could actually draw pancakes and draw shapes with this machine squirting out pancake batter.
Now there's a Sunday morning for you.
It's fantastic. So it's basically just this huge group of people that are just really passionate about what they are into, sharing ideas, sharing design files and projects. Great. And it's just a really, really incredibly cool event.
Good. Do you know any of the other folks that are going to be exhibiting in this Maker Faire?
I know a few of the Cape Cod makers themselves. Yep. That'll be there. And to be honest, I've read the literature, so I know there's going to be duct tape canoes there, which I've never seen, and I'm incredibly excited about.
A duct tape canoe?
From what I'm led to believe.
All right.
And then there's going to be beer making, which everybody likes. Robots from my shop, 3D printers from my shop, and you never know. There's always cool stuff at Maker Fairs.
Yeah, that's what we've heard. We've heard there's some jewelry making as well. I think there's natural home building. We heard that somebody from Vermont's coming to build a natural house. So
absolutely. It's
really shaping up to be a great event. I know that it's a free event. If you go to Cape Cod MiniMakerFaire.com, there is a link there to register. So tell us a little bit about what you brought today. Is these some of the things that people might see at your booth at the Maker Faire?
Absolutely. I do actually produce robots for a living. This is what actually pays my mortgage.
You produce robots for a living?
I make small educational kits.
Well, that's
this is
cool.
One of my little guys. It's called a tadpole. And they're basically used to teach programming. You can be in a programming class and be chunking away learning how to make doctor's office spreadsheets, or you could have an actual thing on your desk, driving around, beeping, making noise, avoiding obstacles. And the first question I get is, what do they do? And the short answer is, whatever you tell them to do. And the incentive for 12-year-old kids is, I want my robot to be cooler. And the only way it's going to be cooler is if I learn more programming, more code. Okay. So there's a built-in incentive to want to seek information, to learn more. So it's just a really great platform to get into robotics, programming, nerd stuff in general.
Excellent.
But the cool thing about these robot brains, and I brought a couple. This is called an Arduino. It's Arduino's a brand name.
Okay.
But in essence, program goes in, code goes in, a list of instructions on what to do. And say this guy here has a distance sensor on the front. If it gets too close, then turn. Those are the instructions. Drive around, and if something is too close, then turn. I can use that exact same code and exact same programming for, say, my wife's greenhouse. But instead of an obstacle sensor, I'll use a temperature sensor.
Oh.
If too hot, then open the vents.
Right.
And so these little robot brains can find themselves absolutely everywhere. They're already in every aspect of your life, in your coffee maker, in your television, in your phone, everywhere. Right. It's just now, with these hobbyist kits, we can actually get a hold of them, program them to make them do what we want them to do.
That's amazing.
And really the sky is the limit on what has been built out of these things.
Excellent.
It's really amazing.
Well, we know that the Mini Maker Faire is going to be a lot of hands-on activities. What's going to be that hands-on activity at your booth?
Robots, robots, robots.
Robots.
My expectation is I'll probably have half a dozen of these guys just roaming the gym floor with people putting their hands out in front to get them to steer around and play. Hands-on also can include communication. These mini Maker Fairs in general are an incredibly great opportunity for like-minded individuals to find themselves, or for people to come and say, I didn't even know that existed, and now that I do, I find it really cool. Right. 3D printers are a perfect example of that.
3D printers we hear a lot about. Will there be some 3D printing?
I will probably have 2 machines.
2 machines.
And even cooler is one of my machines was used to print parts to build the second machine.
Oh my goodness.
So they're actually even self-replicating, and they are incredibly hypnotic, incredibly cool machines to just watch them go and produce.
Are some of these from a 3D printer?
Absolutely. I brought some of these guys. This is a twisted, curved vase, but the cool, and it's completely hollow. The cool thing is this really couldn't be made on any other machine. There's voids, there's hollows, and any kind of milling machine or any kind of cutter really couldn't produce this. Same with something like this. This is actually me. I was scanned on a 3D scanner and then 3D printed. But you can see all the little tucks of fabric, in my jeans. You can even see my little Maker Faire bracelet poking out there.
My goodness.
And but again, this is to be scanned in one place and have a file appear in my email a week later and be able to print a me. Or for anyone, someone in China could print a me, or someone in Alaska, if they have a 3D printer, can print a me. And it's just really astounding how we can send data and then actually have solid, tangible things, in our hands on the other side.
My goodness, is there a history to the Maker Faire?
Well, the history is a man named Dale Doherty and Make, excuse me, Make in general. Make magazine generally sponsors these Maker Fairs and Maker events, and no, Dale is a genuine, beautiful, cool guy who is just into this stuff and wants other people to be, and it's that simple. And so he puts these things on so we can all play together.
So exactly, so we can go to the fair and make new friends and learn new things.
Well, it's better than my idea. I was going to put a sticker on an obscure product at Radio Shack that said, if you're buying this, you're the only other guy on the Cape doing it, please email me.
Okay.
So this is a much more efficient way of doing it, I think.
So we're going to pull a lot of makers together. You'll be able to do that a little bit easier.
Absolutely.
Again, the Maker Faire is on April 26th.
April 26th, 10 to 4?
10 to 4?
10 to 4, Quad C's in Hyannis.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much, Chris, for being with us. I think
awesome.
A lot of people should show up this. I can't believe a duct tape kayak canoe. That's just...
The people that should show up are the people who know nothing about any of this.
Excellent.
And they will be amazed and they'll get into it instantly.
Excellent. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.